Everyone, welcome back to the Guided Programming Coaching Call. I'm Coach Mike. First question up this week is what I think is a really interesting question, and it's actually related to project momentum in some pretty big ways. So it says, on the topic of your recent findings in project momentum, namely that athletes make much better progress if they feel well recovered, which implies that training needs to match the athlete's work capacity and recovery. What do we do if the stimulus needed to make progress is more than the athlete can recover from, meaning that work capacity or recovery issues are the bottleneck to progress? Really good question, and a question like this kind of shows that you're thinking about this and engaged with this process and really trying to apply this information, so that's really good. If work capacity and recovery issues are the bottleneck to progress, we need to address that, and we can do that by having some cycles set up that emphasize work capacity, that emphasize development of your recovery ability. That can be built into your regular training, or it can be dedicated phases of the training. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you can set it up, but there need to be some periods of time where the training beats you up a little bit, where you don't feel well recovered and well rested. It's important to note that, so this was a fairly short training cycle. This was an 8 weeks worth of training for the Project Momentum folks. So over an 8 week span of time, if you're trying to turn in the best performance that you can, then yeah, by all means, the better recovered that you can be, the more you can adapt to that training, I think the better off your results are going to be. But on a more long-term basis, you've got to walk this line. You've got to really push the workload to the point where it's hard, it's pushing you, it's challenging you. But you also need to balance that with recovery and adaptation to training and stuff like that. So on a longer time scale, there needs to be times where you're pushing into that high stress zone, where you're forcing your body to adapt to higher workloads than it was previously capable of doing. And then there needs to be other times of your training where you recover. It's the yin and yang, the push and pull, kind of the circle of life as it applies to powerlifting. But there needs to be both of those present in order to get the most out of your long-term training process as possible.